you mind taking us through? Your head coach said you got a little ding in practice this week.
Yeah.
100%. Taking us through a slow start in the first half for not just you but for the offense, but then getting things turned around in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's something I can't really explain. Obviously, over the course of this year so far, we've played much better in the second half, and we've talked about it a lot. The emphasis of this offseason was learning to finish, and I think we do that very well. But it's just a weird situation where it's been harder for us to get going at the beginning of the game, and I guess the goal just going forward is trying to start the same way that we finish and playing a complete game.
After last week at Washington State, losing the game, not getting a lot of carries, did you need the second half for you today to be such a spark to the offense?
I think that's always the goal. I always want to be my best for the team, and regardless of if that's in the first quarter, first play, or I don't get going till the fourth quarter. I always want to play my best, regardless of how many opportunities I get. And I'm glad we had a good win today. Obviously that's the main goal, and I had a difficult week. I had a rough week, kind of like you mentioned, just getting dinged up a little bit at practice. Wasn't 100% certain I would be able to play, and being able to get that opportunity, thanks to God. Anybody that follows me, on Instagram, I don't know if anybody uses Instagram, but I share a lot of my faith on there, in prayers, and throughout the whole week, it was a lot of things going on, and just the constant conversations with God, and it all worked out.
Can you share with us what got dinged up, or?
I don't think so.
Braelon, sorry, a follow up. The 32-yard run seemed to get you going, but maybe the one before that even. Did it feel that way to you? It feels, watching it seems like it gave the stadium a lift, and maybe your teammates too. But on the field, does it feel that way in the moment?
It does. Once you have one like that, I don't really remember the run before it, but you have that, it gets you going. I'm on the sideline and jump up and try to get back as fast as I can, because I just want to show Coach Longo and let me get it again. And the same thing, on the carries after that, just getting up, getting back to the line of scrimmage, and telling them to give me the ball. And then, I think that's definitely energizing for not just me, but the entire team.
If I remember correctly, it was just between the tackles, but powered through several guys. It was one of those plays where you can see it back like, I want to affect the game. The 6-yard run before the 32-yard.
Yeah, my mind's
okay.
Can't recall, but.
You said there were a lot of things going on this week. I assume beyond any injury stuff, was it battling with not getting the touches that you wanted last week? And I know Coach Fickle mentioned you guys had conversations today. Like, how challenging was that for you this week? Because you do feel like you maybe earned the right for those touches, and how do you deal with that, knowing it's a new offense and maybe they want to work other guys in?
Right. It's it was tough, like I mentioned. Obviously, conversations were had about the game last week, and I thought there was great communication, between me, Coach Fick, Coach Longo, and Coach Spalding. And my kind of thought that I brought to them was, do they have the confidence in me, and regardless if I'm 100% or not. And they made it completely clear that that's not the case at all. To have 100% full confidence in me, and obviously I do it myself too. So I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't anything like that, because like I said, I always wanted to affect the game, or have a big impact on the game. So just that communication helped us play better today.
You mentioned before the season about being more active as a receiver this year. The number of catches have been up, but are you still adjusting to what to do out in space once you get the ball to try to be as productive as a receiver as you are as a runner?
Yeah, I think I am. I think it's a little bit of a different feel.
Yeah.
And we one of the conversations I had with Coach Spalding this past week, I think it was on my first catch against Washington State, and the safety came down and he made a good play. But it was just like, I feel like if that were to be a run that I bounced outside or a pitch, something like that, you know, I'm probably busting them up a little bit and making a bigger play than what I did. So definitely still adjusting to that, and you know that comes along with just getting reps and practice, and definitely trying to be better in that area.
I say Braelon, kind of going off what was asked earlier, but I think in the third quarter, through 3 games, you scored 48 points. Just what has gone into that third quarter? Has there been anything said at halftime, or is it just something what's been going on with that in the third quarter?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. But you know, I think the coaches do obviously a great job making adjustments at the half, and I think that was the biggest thing today. You know, their D coordinator came from Buffalo, so we've seen this defense before, and we knew what pressures they were going to bring. We knew what to expect overall. Kind of just didn't do a good job in playing against that, you know, in the first half. And we talked about it in the locker room and came out and we made the proper adjustments to counter the pressures that we knew they were bringing in certain situations, and it definitely helped.
Is that who this team can be, you think, that third quarter version that we've seen in 2 weeks? Is that the hope? I mean, obviously you have to carry it over the full games, but do you think that's the potential of this team, that window?
Yeah, and I think, you know, like I said before, just going forward, the goal is always going to be to start the same way that we finished. You know, we run out to start the game. You know, it's got to be the same as it's been when we run out for the second half.
You mentioned before you had a conversation with coaches about, do you have 100% faith in me? I think it was, do you have faith in me even if I'm not 100%? Were you banged up at all in the Washington State game, or are you saying it was a conversation based on where you were at going into this game?
Yeah, I was a little bit banged up just from one of the plays in the Buffalo game. Nothing serious, like, you know, obviously I felt pretty good playing. But yeah, they knew that, so that's kind of why that came to my head.
When did you know you were going to be able to play this week? Because you said you weren't sure.
After my first couple plays, honestly.